Hello, Gamereactor Nation. I'm Magnus, and I'm joined here by Dory.
Hello.
As you might know, a lot of cool stuff and gadgetry pass through the Gamereactor office every now and then, and now we have a biggie for you, because not only is this expensive, it's pretty cool as well. It's a new sound system from Bose that we have received here in the Gamereactor office recently, and as you can see, it consists of several units which we have sort of compacted to one set for you. Actually, there's 3 separate packages at large here. There is the Acoustimass, which is being labeled as a bass module, but actually I would say that it's just a standard subwoofer. There is a subwoofer inside. There are 2 satellite, smaller speakers which you can hang on your wall, which are paired with this using some wireless adapters, which gets a signal. You can decide here on the back whether it's a left or right speaker. And then there is the soundbar acting as a sort of a center speaker, which sits below your actual TV. Overall, I think they're pretty, but there are some glaring issues that we've been talking about during the last couple of hours with this set. So could you perhaps lead us into?
We'll first of all talk about like how it's set up and stuff like that. So basically, you plug everything in, and you set the back speakers up wirelessly.
Yeah.
You plug your TV and media players into the soundbar.
Yeah.
And then you put on this little headset that you plug into the...
Yeah, we have that right here. So basically what this is there is a sensor on the top of the calibrating headset. So basically, once everything is wired up, you sit down and you take this on your head and you plug this long jack cable here into the soundbar, and the entire set calibrates based on your position in the room. Now this sounds fancy, but it's actually a pretty standard kit these days, that the position of the person experiencing the sound is calibrated into the system.
Yeah, and one thing about that system, about putting on a headphones or a sensor after putting up your speakers, is that it just phases down one speaker.
Yeah.
So the best thing would be to actually measure the distance and place them properly. But and then use this to kind of like ease the minimal difference. But
we've also seen surround system manufacturers over the last couple of years to try and simplify the entire setup procedure, because I think a lot of us can remember like our dads trying to set up surround sound systems back in the day, just maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, and that was a bit of an advanced effort. But now most of these systems have these smaller sort of calibration procedures, which of course isn't entirely ideal, because then you need to fix where they're placed, depending on where you sit. But this is sort of an in-between solution. Yeah. So it's not perfect, but I've seen it work before. So it's pretty standard fare these days.
Yeah. Now, of course, this is made by Bose, which they make good quality hardware.
They do. It's pretty high end.
Yeah. I've had some fantastic experiences with a lot of their hardware.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to this, we've only had it now for like a day or two, and then we only have it for a week, so we don't really have enough time to plug it in, test it properly.
No.
And trying to get a spec sheet on this seems to be impossible. We don't know what's inside any of this.
No, the thing is that in the various press releases and stuff we've gotten, which is pretty unusual, there's a lot of name dropping on there. For example, the entire system used something called Adaptique. Yeah. They're called virtually invisible, SoundTouch, all kinds of sound-based technologies that they've used to create this kit. And for instance, they call this the best subwoofing or bass unit they've ever produced. Yeah. So there's a lot of name dropping, a lot of buzzwords out there, but when you get down to the nitty-gritty of it and what's actually inside, like what the watts is, what the basic modules...
How big the drivers are, how many drivers are inside the soundbar itself, we have no idea.
Well, you may be able to go into the internet and find this thing in a couple of minutes, and all power to you, but we've had like people on this trying to fact check this before we do a video like this, and we were unable to come up with real spec sheets, and it's
that we could trust.
Yeah, and it's not available from their own site, because the only like factual sort of specifications that are on their own site is, Adaptique and sound flow, and there's 4K pass-through and all these things, which are neat.
And of course Bluetooth, and it even does NFC with your mobile phone.
Yeah.
So it has all the advanced features that you would expect from a very expensive thing like this. But what I want to know before I go out and buy something is I want to know, how big the drivers are. I want to know, the wattage, the ohms, everything.
But also because that a person who might go out and purchase something like this really wants to get into the nitty-gritty of how the sound is produced. And it is really dedicated people who would buy this, because this is not cheap. We should say that off the bat right here, because we get to the second elephant in the room, which is the price of all of this. Now, you may have purchased expensive sort of sound systems before, and maybe this is not shocking to you, but depending on what else is on the market right there, I think this is pretty expensive as well. The small satellite speakers here, what you get in that package is these small ones here that comes with like power, of course, and their transmitting units is 350 euros, which is pretty expensive. You could get a pretty cool sound bar for that from another manufacturer. Now, but it gets better, because the Acoustimass here is 800 euros. And the sound bar is also 800 euros. That adds up to a price of about 1,950 euros for this entire kit. Now, again, you may have tried something, you may have bought something before that was this expensive. A year ago, I tested a perfectly capable, great Sony surround sound system, which was, I think, something along the lines of 1,000 euros. And that's maybe also like turning up the price slightly, maybe 800 euros. And that's for all of this in one package.
But again, we can't really go into critiquing the price, because we don't know exactly just how good this is. We don't know if it's actually physical 5.1 or if it's just 3.1 with the sound bar.
That's true.
Faking being both a center channel and a stereo channel. Don't know. So, and of course this is Bose, like I said, they do have build quality and it's a trusted name.
And we do also need to get back to the, because that's what we have to go on at the moment, the company's reputation. And it does have the reputation of offering truly great high-end products. So this is not something that's entirely out of league of Bose, of offering something this good, maybe, at that kind of price.
Also, if we go into like the naming of the series, the Invisible, I mean, you can tell when you have this properly set up in your living room, it is nearly invisible. You have the sound bar underneath your TV. You have the two little back speakers up on the wall somewhere. You hide these away, I guess, somewhere.
Usually those are inside the actual speaker. But yes, it is very sleek to look at. We have to, credit where credit's due. I think it's the soundbar especially is pretty awesome to look at. And some of these soundbars are pretty cringeworthy to look at it, like with this black techie sort of. But this is sleek, this is modern. So at least judging by the looks of it, and again, we have to, because this sits in your living room, and I think it's pretty great to look at. But then again, as you say, because of a speeded up process, we only have this for about a week, because it has to go to a wide range of content producers. We can't actually, I have listened to it briefly, but we're not going to be able to test it. We have not tested it thoroughly.
I wish we had it for longer so we could put it through its paces and tell you if it's worth it or not. But
we're going to work hard to get it back here for a properly written review where we can also listen to it in depth.
Yeah, after it's done making the rounds.
Yeah, that's what you need to do with these things. But we have, again, a lot of cool stuff comes through the Gamereactor office. We just thought we wanted to unpack this and show you this quickly, and we'll get back to it more in depth at a later point in time.
Yeah, because our life is dope and we don't do shit.
Okay, yeah, that's nice. And on that note, please stay tuned for more quick videos in the future. I am Magnus, this is Dory. Thank you so much for watching, and we're out.